Yo, what's up everybody? It's your man MKBHD here, and let's talk about the Apple M1 laptops. These machines shook up the laptop game when they dropped back in 2020, and for good reason. Apple decided to ditch Intel and go all in on their own silicon, and the results were pretty mind-blowing. We're talking massive performance gains, insane battery life, and that classic Apple design language. These laptops weren't just a spec bump, they were a statement. Apple was serious about making its own chips, and they were here to stay. They launched with three main models: the MacBook Air, the 13-inch MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini. Each one targeted a different type of user, but they all shared that same M1 DNA. This wasn't just about faster laptops, it was about Apple's vision for the future of computing. They wanted to create a seamless ecosystem where your iPhone, iPad, and Mac all work together flawlessly, and the M1 chip was the key. So let's dive in and break down exactly what makes these laptops so special. Alright, let's get technical for a minute and talk about this M1 chip. This isn't just your average processor, it's a whole different beast. Apple calls it a system on a chip, or SoC, and that's because it combines a bunch of different components onto a single chip. We're talking CPU, GPU, RAM, neural engine, you name it. Now the CPU, or central processing unit, is the brains of the operation. The M1 has an 8-core CPU with 4 high-performance cores and 4 high-efficiency cores. This means it can handle demanding tasks like video editing while sipping power for everyday stuff like browsing the web. Then you've got the GPU, or graphics processing unit. This is crucial for anything visually intensive, like gaming or video editing. The M1's GPU is no slouch either, with up to 8 cores of graphics power depending on the configuration you choose. But what really sets the M1 apart is its unified memory architecture. Instead of having separate pools of memory for the CPU and GPU, the M1 shares a single pool of up to 16 gigabytes of RAM. This means data can be accessed much faster, which leads to some serious performance gains. Okay, enough with the tech talk. Let's talk about what really matters. How do these laptops actually perform? In a word, insanely well. The M1 chip absolutely destroys its Intel predecessors in pretty much every benchmark you can throw at it. We're talking 2 to 3 times faster in some cases, especially when it comes to multi-core performance. This means you can fly through demanding tasks like video editing, 3D rendering, and even some light gaming without breaking a sweat. But it's not just about synthetic benchmarks. Real-world performance is equally impressive. Apps launch in an instant, multitasking is buttery smooth, and even demanding software like Adobe Premiere Pro runs like a dream. This is a huge deal, especially for creative professionals who rely on their laptops for work. The M1 chip allows them to do more on the go than ever before without sacrificing performance or portability. Now let's talk graphics. The M1's integrated GPU might not be on the same level as a dedicated graphics card, but it's surprisingly capable for an integrated solution. You can easily edit 4K video, play some casual games, and even do some light 3D modeling without any issues. Of course, if you're a hardcore gamer or a professional 3D artist, you'll probably want a dedicated GPU. But for the average user, the M1's graphics performance is more than enough. Plus, the integrated GPU has another trick up its sleeve: efficiency. Since it's all part of the same chip, it doesn't draw as much power as a dedicated GPU, which leads to longer battery life. Section 5, battery life. A marathon, not a sprint. Speaking of battery life, let's talk about one of the most impressive aspects of the M1 laptops: their insane endurance. Seriously, these things can last for an entire day of work on a single charge. We're talking 15, 18, even 20 hours of battery life depending on the model and usage. This is a game changer for anyone who's ever been tethered to a power outlet. You can literally leave your charger at home and still have enough juice to power through a full workday. This incredible battery life is thanks to the M1's efficiency, both in terms of the chip itself and how it manages power. Apple has optimized every aspect of these laptops to squeeze out every last drop of battery juice. Section 6, design and build. Classic Apple elevated. Okay, enough about the tech specs, let's talk design. As you'd expect from Apple, the M1 laptops are beautifully designed and incredibly well built. They have that same premium look and feel that we've come to expect from Apple products. The MacBook Air is still incredibly thin and light, while the MacBook Pro has a more robust build quality and a slightly thicker chassis. But both laptops are incredibly portable and easy to carry around. Apple has also made some subtle but welcome improvements to the keyboards and trackpads. The keyboards are now more responsive and comfortable to type on, while the trackpads are larger and more precise. Section 7. User experience, seamless and intuitive. But what really sets Apple laptops apart is the overall user experience. From the moment you boot up an M1 Mac, you're greeted with a familiar and intuitive operating system. macOS is known for its simplicity and ease of use, and it runs like an absolute dream on the M1 chip. Apps launch instantly, multitasking is buttery smooth, and everything just feels incredibly responsive. Plus, with the M1 chip, you can now run iOS apps directly on your Mac, which opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Apple has also done a great job of optimizing its own apps for the M1 chip. Apps like Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro run incredibly well on these machines, taking full advantage of the increased performance and efficiency. Section 8. Comparisons and benchmarks, leaving Intel in the dust. Now let's talk about how these M1 laptops stack up against the competition. As I mentioned earlier, the M1 chip absolutely destroys its Intel predecessors in terms of performance and efficiency. But what about compared to other laptops on the market? Well, the M1 laptops still hold their own incredibly well. They consistently outperform Windows laptops with similar specs, especially when it comes to battery life and real-world performance. Of course, there are always going to be Windows laptops with more powerful specs on paper, but when it comes to the overall user experience, the M1 laptops are hard to beat. Section 9. Conclusion. The future of computing is here. So there you have it, the Apple M1 laptops. These machines represent a major shift in the laptop landscape, and they've set a new standard for performance, efficiency, and design. Apple's decision to go all in on their own silicon has paid off big time, and the M1 chip is a testament to their engineering prowess. These laptops aren't just for Apple fans, they're for anyone who wants the best possible laptop experience. If you're in the market for a new laptop, the M1 MacBook should be at the top of your list.